CFC Fan TV. We're delighted to be coming at you from Quartieri. It is the best pizza in London. Make sure that you check it out. I'm of course joined by the one, the only, Miss Sophie Rose.
Hi.
And today we're going to be talking about a lot of things, but the first point that we're going to talk about, I cannot believe what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, Soph.
Whatever.
Should N'Golo Kante be dropped from Chelsea's starting 11? I know it sounds crazy. I can't believe that this is the topic. Do you?
Yeah, I do think you're crazy. Yeah. I mean, we'll get into that in a minute. But
I'm not saying that I necessarily agree. Just to let you know as well, by the way, this is our Premier League Pizza Roundup. We're going to be talking about all of the Premier League games, but the only place to start is Upton Park, or whatever it's called now, and go through our game. But the thing that I think we need to talk about the most, and I'm going to be really interested to hear your thoughts on it, so please comment below and let us know. Should we drop? You don't think we should? I think N'Golo Kante isn't right for the position that we're playing him in, and therefore
I think you're crazy, Rory.
I think I'm crazy to say it. I can't believe I'm saying it.
Does this come from yesterday's game, or does this come from?
Yeah, it comes from. It's cumulative. It's something I've been thinking for a little while, because I think the system that we play, the three midfielders that we play, effectively what we're doing. This is a tweet that I put out yesterday on Twitter. I said what we're doing is we've got one of the best midfielders in the world, but we're asking him to do something that's not right. Effectively, what we're doing is asking Claude Makelele to play the Frank Lampard role, and that's crazy. You know, you wouldn't. N'Golo Kante is one of the best players in world football, but you wouldn't ask him to play right back. We're asking him to do a job that he's not right to do.
You're correct in the fact that yesterday, I mean, I was sitting row 4 for the majority of the game up until I went and see Sindan a bit higher up. But you do see things from a different. I mean, every time I go watch a game, I see it from a different angle depending on where you're sat. Kante was trying to get a goal for the majority of the game. I think the best 2 chances did come from West Ham, not us. But I think I think that was strategic in the fact that we had a few injuries yesterday. We didn't have Pedro to bring on, who is likely to sort of give us that extra goal. So I think that whole strategy was, you know, let's try and create something out of nothing. That's not Kante's fault, but I think he's doing what he's been told to do. I don't think he necessarily wants to be in that attacking role.
But my point is,
sort of attacking role.
My point is, if he's being given, you're absolutely right. He's not breaking the manager's rules. He's following instruction.
If I was sorry, I would think to myself, yesterday that didn't work. Who I think actually should be doing that is Jorginho. I think if they just
he's not attacking. He's not a naturally attacking central midfielder.
But neither is Kante. So
exactly.
But if we lose Kante, I guarantee you,
look,
we will concede goals. A lot of goals.
But at the moment, he's not being his destructive force. What N'Golo Kante is brilliant at is a defensive midfielder, screening the back line and breaking down the opposition play. We're not asking him to do that at the moment.
But I don't see why Kante has to suffer because of our lack of.
Well, look, because
goals.
What we're playing is we're playing a register who's the guy standing, the Jorginho, the quarterback who's going to dictate the play. Jorginho is a better player in that position than Kante, so Jorginho is going to be that player. Mateo Kovacic is a better ball carrier than Kante. Therefore, you're not going to move either of those. That leaves the role of the attacking midfielder, which I think Ross Barkley is more suited to fill than Kante. Therefore, Kante shouldn't be in the starting 11.
Right, but then if you take Kante out, you get rid of the glue in our team, which means we will concede goals. One of the things I've been most impressed about so far this season, all bar obviously Arsenal, because that obviously went a bit tits up, is the fact that we've actually managed to keep a few clean sheets in games where they've been quite difficult. And I think if you take Kante out of the starting lineup, there is no way. We don't have a strong enough up front to take away somebody as solid as Kante. So in the midfield, I can only assume in my head.
But that's exactly the problem, Soph. The fact that we have no goals in the team up front means that we need a midfielder playing the Kante position who's going to score goals.
But that's not going to happen.
Who's more likely to score or create a goal, Ross Barkley or N'Golo Kante?
Well, I mean, Kante's scored more goals than Barkley this season so far, so yeah, I would say.
But generally speaking, who's more likely? He's played more minutes. Who's more likely? Whose thought is more naturally an attack on goal, an assault on goal, an assist for a goal? Who thinks like that more?
If that works out, I honestly don't see taking Kante out of a team creating any more goals for the team. I see us conceding a lot more. I don't see us taking out.
He's not defending. He's not screening the back line.
So I would ask Sarri to reconsider his midfield options and how he sets them out. I think one of some of my favourite games that Kovacic has played has been when he's come off of the bench. I'm not saying he is a bench player by any means, shape or form, but I think West Ham yesterday and the way Sarri set out his team was that the fact that if you think about it, every game that we've had, we've been able to rotate Willian and Pedro and create something out of the game which wasn't there, and somebody's either or, one of them has come on and scored a goal. Yesterday we didn't see that, so we didn't have that option. So for me, Sarri put Giroud up front because he's thinking, well, I'm not sure Morata's going to get a goal, and we do struggle against them at the Olympic Park. I mean, I've been to the Olympic Park loads of times, and I've not seen us play any very good football, to be honest, all bar that Hazard game. And I think he thought, right, okay, so how do I set the team out? And I suppose he did slightly get it wrong to a certain degree, but without Pedro, I think the main problem is without Pedro, things seem without having that rotation on the side, things are going a little bit.
Look, I just can't. So effectively,
I don't think it's Kante's fault though. Yeah, of course, I like.
No, it's not about blame though. It's not about blame.
I do like the fact that we can push him a little bit further up forward sometimes.
But he isn't. But he's not very good at that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Worked out in which game was it where he scored?
And he scored first game of the season.
Yeah,
but
so I do think.
I mean, he bobbled it in safe. It wasn't like a convincing Frank Lampard 30-yard strike. It did well to cross the line.
I know, but I don't think that Kante is the one to blame here. I just think you need to rotate a little bit more and use your substitutions a little bit differently.
So it comes down to this though. If you're going to so N'Golo Kante is one of the best midfielders in the world, and therefore you could build the team around him. You could do that.
Which I would do.
Okay, but if you're not going to do that, if you're going to play a system, so you're going to play a 3 system in midfield, which involves one player playing quarterback, dictating the play, involves another player carrying the ball, driving forward, and another player finishing those chances. N'Golo Kante is one of those. He's none of the first two. Therefore, the only available place is the goal-scoring midfielder, is the Frank Lampard role, and you can't play N'Golo Kante as a Frank Lampard.
Right, but. Fair enough, and to an extent, what Rory's saying is a lot more knowledgeable than the way I'm describing it here, obviously. But we don't have to take Kante out of the team. We don't have a strong enough up front to give us that amount of goals that we need to win a game, and we don't have a strong enough defence at the moment, especially with Rudiger now being out injured, to take Kante out of the equation. So there isn't a right answer at the moment until. I mean, all we really need is Pedro back and for something to go right on that side. And I don't mind if Sarri wants to rotate Kovacic and Barkley and whoever else. I don't mind if he actually wants. I would prefer that he does that. I don't think taking Kante out of the side would help us in any shape or form at the moment. If we had the thing that we struggle with, and the thing that we struggled with all day yesterday was. We're more than fine getting the ball to the edge of the box. We're more than fine getting the ball into the box. There is nobody there to do anything.
No, but this is part of the problem, Soph. We have no goals in this team. Well, do you remember the days when we had a midfield of Michael Essien, Michael Ballack and Frank Lampard?
Right.
60 goals. We have no goals in midfield.
But taking Kante out and bringing Barkley on, for me, isn't going to make that
better. Okay,
but
let's just explore our issue with goals. But let's just explore our issue with goals, right? So 60 goals we would have had. We have, I don't know, Kante, Jorginho. What are they going to get between them? 5?
Haven't even eaten. I'm so mad.
Right. Up front, we used to have Anelka, Drogba. Up front, we have Morata, Giroud. How many goals are they going to get between them? There's literally no goals in this team. And if...
Well, I mean, it all went downhill and we've signed a £17 million striker.
But, I mean, I think Morata is obviously culpable for the fact that we're not scoring enough goals. But we are going to be so badly punished soon if we don't sort this out. If we haven't got somebody who can rescue the game. Frank Lampard, a 28-year-old Frank Lampard, yesterday scores and we win that game 2-0.
Yeah, but...
we haven't got that at the moment, and we need to do something about it.
I do think we're all getting a bit... I think we're all overreacting here a little bit. I think the blame is falling on what Kante was doing wrong yesterday, when actually, for me, the matter of the fact for me is that we didn't really have much to bring on from the bench in the right places. So I think...
Yeah, but that's not going to change now, so we have to change with what we've got. We can't sign anyone.
No, I know.
So we have to deal with that. And the way that we deal with it, potentially, is to play Ross Barkley, who is a naturally forward-thinking player. And if we play Ross Barkley, it means we have to drop somebody.
I wouldn't drop Kante for anyone. I don't know what the answer is yet. I wouldn't drop him for that. It'd be interesting to see what he does on Wednesday. I think Wednesday obviously is a huge game. I don't think we're going to see...
He won't play Wednesday.
No, I know. But I think what I'm saying is I think when we've got this will be a very good team. I'm sure Liverpool will also use some of their bench options because they're focusing on the league as well. So we will be able to rotate the squad slightly, and it will be good to see who we do actually have on the bench. Because for me, Sarri looked clueless. He's definitely not clueless, but just how I felt, I was thinking, well, how are we going to win this game if we don't have somebody as fast paced as Pedro, or we don't, whatever.
So basically, we don't know the answer.
We don't know the answer.
Do you? Can you comment below and let us know, what do we do about this position? And is there any sense in what I'm saying about dropping Kante?
But don't forget, West Ham away is a very difficult away day for us. I didn't tip us to win yesterday at all. As fans were saying 3-0, it was never for me it was never going to happen. West Ham had just picked up their form against Everton. They do play well against us at the Olympic Park, no matter how bad their form is. A bit like Arsenal, really. And so it wasn't a major surprise to me. It was just the fact that we never looked like scoring. The fact that we had the most possession throughout the game. That was the main problem for me.
So we're now going into a week where we're going to play Liverpool twice in 3 days. It's going to be intense, it's going to be exciting, it's going to be aggressive, it's going to be hostile, it's going to be fantastic. Let's start with Wednesday. Can we win? Did they look... They obviously had a very impressive result on the weekend, and I think the reason it's so impressive is because, beating Southampton at home 3-0 is fine. Nothing to write home about. It's a very good result, but nothing to write home about. However, if you combine that with the fact that they got that result, having played against PSG on Wednesday night, it's so hard to win your domestic games, having played in Europe, against one of the best teams in Europe, winning it in the last minute. The fact that they then went and battered Southampton is very impressive, and it fills me with fear.
Yeah, it does, but for me, I think playing them twice in a week actually works to our advantage slightly for the weekend's game, because I think Wednesday is an opportunity to see who's playing well, who's not, who fits right, and you can exploit each other's weaknesses. Of course, it's an advantage for them as well, but the fact of the matter is that the game on the weekend is at Stamford Bridge, so I think for us it works out more in our favour. I do expect it to be a very interesting game Wednesday. I think there will be goals conceded on both sides because they will be rotating the squad and whatever else. But I do think it'll be really interesting to see how we play against them, and it'd be a nice little, warm up to the weekend's game. I'm not saying I don't take the competition seriously.
How impressive did you find Liverpool's performance against Southampton?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the thing is with Southampton though, they are majorly struggling. I wouldn't be surprised if their manager was sacked very soon. But I don't think they'll go down, no matter how horrendous it is. I don't think Southampton will go down. But of course Liverpool are impressive, and same with City. They won 5-0 against Cardiff, although Cardiff are, terrible. So I mean,
how filthy was that challenge, by the way?
Yeah,
on Gundogan. Oh my God.
I don't think we should be comparing ourselves to them too much this weekend, because they had very easy fixtures compared to us. So. I mean, what can you say?
You say that, Soph, but West Ham only won one game all season.
Doesn't matter though. We never do well at the Olympic. But we don't do well there.
Doesn't mean it's not an easy fixture though. Manchester City would find West Ham an easy fixture. Liverpool would find West Ham an easy fixture. I know it's different because of the derby aspect, but you need to be winning that game.
No, I mean, I think, like I said, Man City drew against Wolverhampton. They've had their fair share.
Oh, let's talk about Wolves now. Yes, good segue.
I like Wolves.
I like anyone who takes points off Mourinho and Manchester United.
Yeah, exactly. I like Wolverhampton. I think they're a good side. So I think I told you this before. I did some filming for Channel 4 last season, and I had to go to Wolverhampton's ground and ask the fans where they thought they'd finish as they were coming up to the Premier League, where they thought they'd finish in the league. They seriously thought they were going to finish top 6, they were going to get Europe, and I was there like, what the hell?
Hey, they might.
And then I went and researched a little bit about their investment and how they built their team, and actually they haven't got a bad point there, really.
It's called Fosun, isn't it? It's like Chinese money.
Yeah, they're very they're going to become a very good team, and actually I think they've spent their money very well, which is something that I think Fulham haven't really done as much of.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with Fulham because they spent so much money. They really did. They've bought some very interesting players. I thought Mitrovic was a great signing. He's obviously top of the goal scoring league at the moment. I thought Schürrle was a good signing. Jean-Michel Seri. It all felt like it was good.
Do you know what it reminds me of, though?
I think Jokanovic could go. I think he could get sacked.
Do you know what it reminds me of, though? Do you remember when Spurs sold Gareth Bale?
Spent the money on that.
And they had a load of money, and they spent money on quite good players. None of them gelled well together. So I think there is a danger of doing that, and I think what Chelsea have done this season is we've only brought in a couple of reinforcements, all by the upfront situation, which I don't even want to talk about because it makes me mad. But our signings have been fantastic, and they've all fit in well with our team, and everyone's, relatively, other than the whole goal situation, we've made some decent signings, and they seem to be working out for us because. I mean, we haven't lost a game so far this season. We've drawn, although it feels like a loss yesterday, I suppose. But so I don't think that.
Do you think they can go down, Fulham?
I think there's a possibility, yeah. I think they're definitely starting to improve, but I think for a team that's spent that amount of money, you would have expected them by now to have had a few more wins, I would say.
They're dropping points.
In games where they can. That's what I mean.
Home.
That's what I mean. So our points that we've dropped against West Ham, actually, it is an Ireland derby. Like I said, it was away at Villa Park. If that was a home game yesterday, you wouldn't be seeing the reaction that you've got today. Do you know what I mean? I would have been saying, well, no, we should have won that. But I do think that over time we will. I mean, like I said, we've already played some of our hardest fixtures. Fulham's fixtures that they need to win to stay in the Premier League are the bottom. Yeah, you're taking my salad, I know. And you're not even getting it on the plate.
Sorry, I just fancied a bit.
Our hardest games are the top 6. Fulham's hardest games will be the bottom half of the table, and they're obviously not
definitely their most important games, and they're not doing very well in it.
Cardiff are goners, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
You're off. Cardiff and Huddersfield are definitely going down, in my opinion, those two. 1,000%.
It's hard to say.
It's the third space that I have no idea.
But you know what, though? There's so many teams that are so bad at the moment.
I just think that no matter how bad Southampton are, they have enough experience in this Premier League to stay up another season.
That's how I feel about West Ham. I really want West Ham to go down, but it's just not happening. It's just not happening.
I'm sorry, Rory, that ain't going to happen.
No, it's a real shame.
So next up then is Arsenal vs Everton. Arsenal won 2-0, although I don't think the scoreline reflects the actual game.
Well, it could have been different.
Yeah.
It could have been different. I think...
Me and Charlie went to watch it after the West Ham game. We caught like a certain amount of it, went out to do our player ratings, and 2 goals had gone in. But up until then, it was a pretty boring game like the West Ham game.
Well,
so.
mate, Everton should have gone 1-0 up after about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That Calvert-Lewin went through and tried to go round Petr Cech, but didn't really do anything. He didn't really make any contact with the ball. I thought Richarlison had a really good game, and on a different day, Petr Cech in less good form, it could have been a very different story. Arsenal looked flimsy, but they've got 4 wins in a row now. They're going to be starting to look up the table. They're mounting a bit of a run. And
I mean, for me,
I'm starting to get a bit worried about Arsenal, you know.
I don't think it's that difficult to win against Everton, if I'm being honest. I thought they were, at one point they were going to be, in contention for top 4 a few years ago, but seems to have all gone a little bit downhill. Anyway,
are you worried about Arsenal at all? Are you sharing my fear?
No, because I think they've had some luck. I think they're on a good run, which I think is doing amazingly well for their confidence. 4 wins on a spin. For their confidence, but they haven't really had too difficult. I mean, the Newcastle game wasn't really for me. They were just scraping through. I
suppose when they've been tested, Chelsea, Man City, they lost both.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there will come a time when they have some harder fixtures. I'm not sure who they're playing next week, but that will start to run out. Their luck will start to run out. I think at the moment they're just getting very lucky.
Saying that though, Soph, Aubameyang, Lacazette, they're starting to be a very interesting duo up front, and you know how important a good partnership up front is. Think of our history, Drogba, Anelka, Hasselbank, Johnson. It's often based around, Flo and Zola. It's often based around players linking up well together.
I don't think Lacazette seemed that happy. Was it the weekend or was it the weekend before?
Scored a very good goal.
Right, no, but he didn't. I don't think he was sat on the bench, and his teammates Ozil and that were warming up, and he was just sat there like arms crossed, fuming. So I think there are a few issues here and there with that. But
but does that worry you? The fact that they're linking up so well up front, and they're going to be good they're the opposite of us, aren't they? They're very good for a goal up front.
Yeah, and they're horrendous in defence. If I'm being honest, doesn't worry me. I don't think they're our main competition this season. I think the games that we really need to focus on winning are especially our away days where we do struggle. Because I've been to many games. Me and Charlie didn't even sit next to each other yesterday because when me and Charlie sit next to each other we tend to lose, and I was getting a bit worried. But yeah, that's just suspicious.
Tottenham obviously found form. Tottenham beat Brighton 2-0. Harry Kane's back amongst the goals. Never nice to see. Is that troubling you?
No, again, I'm not worried.
I love our optimism.
No, but I really am only focusing on... I want us to win our big games this year. I think last year we didn't look like winning against Man City any way, shape or form.
So this Liverpool week is big?
This Liverpool week is big, and I think it's big for us because it will test how good we actually are as a team. And I think these are the 2 games where pundits on TV, if we do get something out of these games, we'll think, oh, okay, actually, you know what? No, they've played against the toughest teams this season, and they're still coming out on top.
Yeah, fair.
It's important, and I'm sure that Sarri will be preparing for it as we speak. So comment below, do you think N'Golo Kante should be dropped? I think Rory is delusional.
So do I. Sounds ridiculous.
But I do see, I think actually quite a few of you may agree with Rory's points, just slightly. Anyway, guys, comment below what do you think, and of course, if you like this video, click the subscribe button. We'll see you next week.